Welcome to a special playoff edition, the quarterfinals postgame show of the winter 2024 season from CT. I'm your host, as always, Greg Horne. Got two interns here who have been on a bunch. They've been making picks all year, and I'm excited to see what they saw in their first night of Legacy League's playoff action. We're just going to hop right into it. Evan, Jake, hope you're doing good. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there. Shout out to all our loved ones, family, anyone who's your Valentine, your dog, I don't know, lizard, whatever you like. But we're going to start off with the first game and someone who's going to hope their Valentine's Day is a little better than last night, and that's Get Money, because NLMB absolutely took Get Money to the woodshed. I mean, 69-49 for NLMB. They keep continuing this just incredible run for this season for them. Before the year, if I told you they'd be the 3 seed, they'd be in the semis, and they'd have a chance to take out Yagaville, I don't know if any of us would have predicted that, but NLMB just looks incredible. I want to give Get Money credit. They had a great year. They really fought, but the Tyron McRae injury was just too much to overcome. Kyle Davis and Taishin did really all they could, but look, this NLMB team, they play team basketball. They remind me a lot of Flint, and I want to give a shout out to James Harrington. They call him Speedy. He is my favorite player to watch in this league. He's so fun. He comes over to me in the middle of the game and goes, I got the goggles on tonight. I'm seeing everything out there, and I love how much fun he has. I love how he plays hard. He always hustles. He does everything. He had 7, 7, 4, and 5, and that 5 is steals. He's just all over the court. And what I love to see is when someone like Dante Hodge doesn't have a great game. He only had 12 points, 4 of 12 shooting, 4 from 10 from the field. You got guys like Christian Dessou and Andrew Murray who could just step up and take a bigger role. And Alex Willis, who actually was on Get Money their first year, who's now on NLMB, he really took a step back with this team, and he just kind of plays defense, does what he needs to do. And look, NLMB, they got a hard matchup versus Yagaville next week, but man, does this team just play incredible team basketball. Andrew Murray has been a revelation for this league. I mean, he is incredible. Christian Dessou might be one of the best shooters we've ever seen in this league. And NLMB, man, they are trending in the right direction. They are just absolutely on fire. So I want to tip the hat to NLMB. They completely deserve this run they're making. The roster changes they made in the offseason, they figured it out. They figured out the winning formula. And this NLMB team is coming, man, and I would not want to play them next round. And that's who Yagaville is going to get. As far as Get Money goes, I think Kyle Davis had an incredible year. Same with Taishin. Xavier McRae had a solid game in this one, but it just seems like, sometimes you show up and you have a dud on the day. And this just wasn't Get Money's best game. So they're just going to have to shake it off and, see what they're going to do next year. They'll probably get Tyron back, but, just kind of got to flush it. It's one of those things that happens. NLMB was the better team on the day. They were the better team this year, and it showed out on the court on Thursday night. But shout out to NLMB, man. I mean, just a phenomenal team, and shout out my guy Speedy. I'm excited to see what they can do next round, but next up, we got my boys, the Flint Tropics, taking care of business like we always do, 127-86. And, I mean, I'll let Evan and Jake go. Evan, just take it from me. What did you see from Flint? How did they beat FD Ballers? A little 1v8 matchup.
Flint Tropics, great basketball team. They move the ball well. They use all their players. We saw Matt Fink, 35 points, 75% from the field. Mike Bizzuto as well. Shot great from the field. The big stat, though, 63% as a team shooting from the field, opposed to FD Ballers, 49%, which isn't going to win you many games, especially against a team like Flint, who has stars all around. And, that's the big takeaway, the shooting.
Yeah, 1v8's always funny because, it's the 1 seed, especially how well Flint's been playing. Jake, Flint, FD, what do you got? Could be, I know 1v8 was a blowout, but you see anything?
Nothing we were surprised about. Went into this game not expecting much, and the FD Ballers stuck in it up until halftime. After halftime, Flint they're just more consistent. They hit shots, like Evan said, their field goal percentage, and they just pull away from teams. It seems like even if a team is close with them in the first quarter, second quarter, in the third and fourth is when Flint starts to pull away, and I think that's just because they're such a complete team. When we were sitting at the desk after the game, Mike Bizzuto came by and said, "Stop doubting us." They hear the post game, they hear everybody that still doesn't believe in them, even though they've been doing this all season. And I think that is staying true because I know it's a 1v8 matchup, but they're just doing their job. It seems week after week. I mean, it's simple. They just do the fundamental basketball, and that wins them games and it wins them blowouts. And it's a repetitive thing. They're consistent. Unlike teams potentially, like we mentioned, like Yagerville, they show up every week, and I feel like there's no reason why we shouldn't believe in them heading down the line.
Greg,
Now,
you said you needed someone from Flint to step up, and Ricky Rogers stepped up, 21 points in a
yeah,
big game.
shout out Ricky Ricky Rogers has got like the 2K my player name, like Ricky Rogers. I shout out Ricky Rogers. You know, Evan's exactly right. Ricky Rogers had a great game this game, and it's kind of what you both said. You kind of just set me up here. They play team basketball, just like Jake said. Like they just get everyone involved. They have fun doing it, and they're consistent. You never really see them like they're. I love Yagerville. You know, they do the funny classic thing where they like don't try. Half the team shows up, and then at the end of the game they win by 20. But Flint from start to finish is just consistency. So shout out my Flint Tropics guys. Also want to give a quick shout out to FD Ballers. Seen a lot of teams in this league come and never win a game. I always say it. I won like 4 games in my career. I played like 3 seasons. So I get how hard it is to lose. And we've had a lot of teams in the past that just quit and never showed up. So I want to give FD Ballers credit. It's not easy coming in week after week and fighting and trying to get a win and not finishing with one. But those are some great guys, really great guys. And, you know, for the post-game show from our interns, you know, we're really thankful for you guys because you fought every week. And I know it can't be easy, especially when you're playing teams like Flint and Yagerville. But speaking of a hard-fought game, we had the best game of the night for the next game, and that is the Run TMC, Joey Zaccos versus Lord's Army. And it was kind of the same old little deja vu in this game. Reggie Stewart was too much for Lord's Army. Run TMC took him down 78-71. I know Reggie wants me to eat some crow, so I'm going to eat some crow. Chris was laughing at TMC on the last postgame show, and, you know, usually I'm just laughing because Chris is an idiot, which we all know he is. But, Run TMC, man, they're a phenomenal team. Reggie, obviously, is one of the best players we've ever seen in this league. He's probably the most clutch or second most clutch player we've seen in this league. And when Reggie gets going, there's a reason his nickname is Reggie Runs TMC because Reggie Stewart had the Jokic stat line. Shout out Connor. 30, 21 rebounds, 12 assists. He was the team out there for them. Eric Singleton played great, and I also want to give Miles Raymond credit. Miles Raymond's been a little inconsistent this season, but he played his best game when it mattered most against Lord's Army. He was playing phenomenal out there. And then Chad McCoy just gives you the big body that TMC did need. So, honestly, I just think that I'll eat my crow, Reg. Shout out to Reg. That's my guy. Reggie, you guys are doing it. You guys are playing phenomenal basketball. And obviously, you know, I'm going to pick Flint. I'm going to stick true to my guns, Reg. But, there is something to say about the resiliency of Run TMC, the team basketball they're really playing, how unselfish they are. And also, Reggie Stewart, a few seasons ago, was taking a lot more shots. He's just running this offense like he looks like prime Tom Brady out there the way he's making these passes. So shout out to Reggie. Shout out to Run TMC. He really runs TMC. As far as Lord's Army goes, you know, it's the same old story with them. A lot of athletes, a lot of great basketball players. Just doesn't seem like the team fit as a team. They would always be in games. It would always be close. And then fourth quarter hits, and you're like, I don't know if Lord's Army is going to finish this. And it was the same, kind of the same old story. EJ Linton was a phenomenal player this year. I really hope he comes back. He's a really, really great player, and he's going to start to get used to these rims because it is a big difference shooting on this size rims. Jaycon Bromell is always just one of the most electrifying players in the league, and he's just incredible. Sean Cita, underrated, and shout out my guy Sexy Lex. He had a few rebounds, a few putbacks there, but it just wasn't enough for Lord's Army, and I think when they come back next season, they're going to have to kind of figure out how they can get into that extra gear and what can they do to get to the next level to beat a team like Run TMC or Flint or Yagerville, because they have the athleticism, they have the guys. It's just, can they put it together? So shout out to Run TMC. Reggie, you're a king, man. You're absolutely filthy. And they took down a big win. But speaking of a Run TMC rival, Yagerville took on Team YOLO. And Yagerville did what Yagerville does. They bounced back after the loss to Flint and just took it to Team YOLO. Randy Kahn with another phenomenal game. Mike Davis came up to me mid-game and said, I'm proving all y'all wrong. I'm coming for this chip. So there's a lot of it's funny how the 1 and 2 seeds always want to prove everyone wrong. But, man, Yagerville Team YOLO. I'm going to start with you, Evan. What did you see from Jagaville Yolo? You've been watching these teams all year. How was it?
So Yagaville is missing two key players, TJ Killings and Eric Langston, unfortunately, but they did have some key players to step up. Michael Davis, Randy Kahn, both with 29 points. Michael Davis was 9 for 14 from three, which is huge. On the Team YOLO side, it was close in the first half. I know they have some really good players. They had Rico Santiago with 49 points. Jamar Petty, 28 points with 9 rebounds, excuse me. But the big thing that I saw was the turnovers. Team YOLO with 8, Yagaville with 0. So that's a big contributor, and that's probably why they lost the game.
Yeah, turnovers are huge, especially in legacy leagues. Fast break points coming from the turnovers is huge. So that's Yagaville's brand of basketball. When they really start trying, they force a lot of turnovers. Jake, Yagaville, Team YOLO. Give it to me.
Yeah, so Evan definitely hit on majority of it, especially on who played well on Team YOLO. To hit on them, obviously, as they lost, but they did still play well at times. It seems like just a broken record with Yagaville. As you said, it's just different with Flint. Flint seems to do it like they mean to. Yagaville sort of does it, not by accident, but they're just like messing around all game. And like you said, they end up winning by 20, winning by 30 in these games. And I feel like that's just because they're like putting in new players week in, week out. As Evan obviously said, they were missing Eric Langston, missing TJ Killings, and unfortunately, I missed the Flint against Yagaville game last week. But I would assume it's just once again, like we said, Flint just being more consistent allowed them to win that game by over 20. But I hope like down the line, down these playoffs, Yagaville does hear what we're saying there in the post game, sort of notice that, and finally show up here heading into these final 2 to 3 games. Hopefully, they can definitely shut me up as we head into the potential final matchup with that rematch.
Oh yeah, Yagaville's going by many names, mixed and matched few players, but never forget the year I interned. I did not pick them, and they were hitting threes, winning the championship, and screaming my name at the top of their lungs. So they'll be listening. They'll be motivated. I know they want Flint. They respect Matt Fink and those guys' game, and I think that's the rematch we all want. But I couldn't agree with you more. This is typical Yagaville, Shocker City Yaga, whatever you want to say. They have the talent. All year they haven't had a full roster. It's going to be funny to see, and that's a good transition because we're going to make some picks here, boys, and we got 2 good games. It's going to be the semifinals coming up, and we're going to start with the first game, which is NLMB versus Yagaville, and that is going to be a very good one. I should have got Connor to make a spread, but Yagaville is for sure favored there. I'll make my pick first. I'm going to go Yagaville. I know NLMB. NLMB, you guys can roast me if I go, you know what? I'm picking NLMB, actually. Why would I pick Yaga? Sorry, Pratt and the boys. I know I'll never bet against Mike Davis, but I just like the Cinderella run right now. I think they're playing good basketball. Shout out my guy Speedy. I just think NLMB's got something to prove. They're playing well. The thing for me in this game is they're going to need Dante Hodge and Dessou to they're going to have to shoot the ball. They're going to have to hit threes in this game. Because if Mike Davis and Jelly and Pratt and them are on, it's going to be really hard to beat this Yagaville team, especially if Eric Langston shows up and he's healthy. Eric Langston is just the energy he brings. Forget the basketball, just the energy he brings to this team. He just makes a difference for this Yagaville team. So I think it's going to be very, very close. And you know what? Why not? I'll go on a limb. I'm going NLMB. Evan, who you got?
I love both teams. I think NLMB is a sleeper to win it, but I've been taking Yaga all year. I think they have too talented of a team to go out in the second round. So I'm taking Yagaville.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's a hard choice. This is a very hard choice. Jake, Yaga and LMB. Where are you sticking your flag?
Although I've had my critiques, I am still going to pick Yagaville, but I know a few weeks ago we did say NLMB was sort of our dark horse team heading into the playoffs. So by all means, if they do end up winning that game next Thursday, I would not be shocked at all, especially after the performance with Get Money. Even though they only scored about 69, 70 points, as you said, it was still an impressive effort. So I'd not be surprised if we see a repeat next week and they do end up sort of pulling that sneak win out there.
Yeah, no, the game next week should be a lot less scoring, more defensive heavy, but I feel like the 3 pointers are going to be key. If Yaga comes out hot, it's going to be up to NLMB to really keep up with that offensive firepower. Speaking of offensive firepower, we got my Flint Tropics going against a team they know and hate, Joey Sacco's Run TMC. Um, Reggie, I'm going to give you more bulletin board material. Obviously, I said I'm picking Flint. Those are my boys. I'm on the Flint bandwagon, and I'm not going to jump ship. I stay loyal to the end, win or lose. I ride or die. I just think Flint has too much, just too much. Guys like Pat Drury and Ricky Rogers, they're great basketball players who don't have to do too much, but when they're asked to do more, they step up. So I got Flint, Flint TMC. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm with you, Greg. I'm taking Flint. They've too talented of a roster, players everywhere that can do anything, even when they don't have to. But Run TMC, Reggie's a great player. I don't know if it will be enough, but hopefully they can prove me wrong. But I'm taking Flint here.
All right, Jake.
Yeah, same thing goes for me with everything I've been saying about Flint, all the good things. I'd be crazy to pick against them. But as you said, the other game, probably a defensive game, I feel like this one's going to be more on the offensive side. I mean, if Flint has five guys scoring basically 20 points like they did yesterday, like you said, it's just hard to keep up with. But I feel like if Run TMC simply just hits their threes, they get those threes in. Reggie has a massive game, but it's stuff like that that has to happen in order for Run TMC to even potentially be in this game. Because I wouldn't be surprised if Flint just once again just runs away with this one.
Yeah, I agree. And you said it best. Look, obviously I didn't pick TMC, but Reggie is one of those guys that if he gets hot and he gets going, there's only 40 minutes in a Legacy Leagues basketball game, and all of a sudden there's 5 minutes left in the fourth, and TMC's down three. We got ourselves a ball game, and I wouldn't bet against Reggie, but I'm rolling with my Flint guys. This has been a good post game. We went through some good playoff action. We got some great games next week. It's really going to be a really good slate. For me, Greg Horne from Flint Nation, for Evan from Yaga Nation, and from Jake, who is joining me on the Tropics bandwagon. It's looking like this was a great post-game show. We're excited for NLMB versus Yagaville and Flint versus Run TMC. It's going to be a classic next week, so get your popcorn and be ready. But this was a great post-game show, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone.